Okay, in this example, I want to show you how to do the factoring formula because some of you still stuck in here. So there are three factoring formula that you should know. Okay, the first one is the quadratic factoring formula, which is you have this a square minus by b square equivalent to a minus by b multiplied by a plus by b. Okay, the second one is a cube minus by b cube. So you have two factors, which is a minus by b and a square plus ab plus b square. And the third one is a cube plus by b cube equivalent to a plus b multiplied by a square minus by ab plus b square. So be very careful on this, the cubing part. Alright, if you have the minus, the linear factor is minus, but the middle part over here will be plus. If your this one is plus, so your linear factor is plus, and the middle part here will be minus, is opposite sign. Okay, now let's look at an example. Okay, the question asks you to factorize completely of x square minus by 25. Okay, by the way, which factoring formula that you would use? So you would use the first one, which is the quadratic, because it's a square and square, so that you have a square. So try to make it this number to become square. Alright, so what you're gonna have here would be x over here is square minus by something is square. So you want to identify what is your a and b. So if something square, you got 25, basically what you have to do is take this number and square root it. So square root 25 is actually the perfect square for 5 square. So what you have over here, inside here, would be 5. Alright, so you can identify your a is such x, your b is 5. Okay, so what you will have over here, using the factoring formula, you will have two factors. So you have x minus by 5, x plus by 5. So you are done, factorize completely. Okay, from the quadratic, it become two linear factors. Okay, now let's say if the question given you something like this, 9x square minus by 16 equivalent to. So how do you factorize completely? Again, identify what is your a and what is your b. So this is still using the first factoring formula. So try to make it into square minus by square over here, a bracket square, so you can know what is your a and b. So what is it that if you square root of this, you will get over here? Over here you will actually have square root 9 is a perfect square for 3, and then this would be x lah. Alright, and 16 would be 4. Square root of 16 is 4 square. You have already your a basically is equivalent to 3x, your b is equivalent to 4. So it's equivalent to 3x minus by 4 and 3x plus by 4. Okay, the problem is when you are given something like this. Let's say they ask you to factorize completely for x square minus by 5. Okay, now over here, if you look at the first and the second question, 25 is the perfect square for 5. 9 and 16 is a perfect square for 3 and 4. But 5, there is no perfect square over there. Alright, if you square root that number, you will get a decimal places. So that one is not a perfect square. So what you can do is, again, the idea is you have to change it in this form first, so that you can use the formula a minus by b. You can identify that. So you will have over here x. So what is it? A number over here, if you square, you get it 5. So the trick is that take this number, just square root it. So if you square that number, basically you will get square root 5. Now don't put in decimal, just leave it there as such the square root number. So now you can identify your a as such x and b is square root 5. Then you simply substitute x minus by square root 5, x minus by square root 5 and multiply by x plus by square root 5. Okay, so that is your factorized completely. Okay, I'll give you another one. Let's say if you have this 2x square minus by 3. again, if you look at the first and the second term, first term is not a perfect square, which is 2. 3 also is not a perfect square. Now put in the factoring formula form, so you know your A and B. So 2 over here, if you want to have a square, to get 2, you will have square root 2. This is x. 3 square root 3 square, you got back 3. So you can identify your A as such, square root 2x. B is square root 3. So you will have over here equivalent to square root 2x minus by square root 3. Okay, now basically this is just a factoring formula, A minus by B, and then A plus by B would be square root 2x plus by square root 3. That is your final factorized completely. Okay,